Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are unpacking something absolutely incredible. ACIM, Lesson 58. Whether you've been rigorously following along with A Course in Miracles, or honestly, even if you're just stumbling onto these concepts for the very first time, you are in for a treat. This material is literally a game changer. We're going to take some beautifully complex ideas and break them down so they're super practical for your everyday life. So what exactly is the focus of Lesson 58? Well, the text states it perfectly right here. Reviewing previous lessons 36 through 40. That's it. That is our absolute focused intention for this entire explainer today. The source material is essentially telling us to hit the pause button, look backward, and really lock in 5 specific ideas we've already covered. It's all about moving these concepts from our heads down into our hearts. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap, verbatim from the text. These are the 5 core truths we're looking at today. Number 36, my holiness envelops everything I see. Number 37, my holiness blesses the world. Number 38, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. Number 39, my holiness is my salvation. And finally, number 40, I am blessed as a son of God. By the time we wrap up, you're going to see exactly how these 5 statements stack up to totally shift how you view yourself and literally everyone around you. Let's kick things off with our first point, Lesson 36. My holiness envelops everything I see. I want to pause for a second and really let that sink in. Think about what that's saying. It's a massive claim. The text is suggesting that this quality within you, your holiness, literally wraps around and colors every single thing you lay your eyes on. It's like a customized lens you view the world through. Now, I know the word holiness can carry a ton of heavy baggage, right? Or maybe it just feels a little too abstract or out of reach. So let's translate this dense terminology so everyone can understand what we're actually talking about here. In this context, holiness simply means your inherent innocence. It's your unconditional self-worth and your deepest inner peace. It has absolutely nothing to do with being morally superior to anyone else. It's just about recognizing the fundamental, untouched innocence that is the absolute truth about you. And the source text makes this fascinating point here. It says, "From my holiness does the perception of the real world come." It's drawing this massive contrast between holding on to internal guilt versus accepting your own internal innocence. The argument is that if you're secretly harboring guilt, well, that's exactly what you're going to see out in the world. But if you forgive yourself and accept your innocence, your whole perception flips. The text literally says, I can picture only the thoughts I hold about myself. So when you look through innocent, understanding eyes, suddenly the holiness of the world is all you can see. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we shift from that internal state to an actual external impact. Lesson 37 tells us, my holiness blesses the world. We are moving way beyond just sitting around feeling peaceful inside. The text is making it clear that your inner innocence isn't some private, isolated experience. It actively radiates outward. Just to make sure this is crystal clear, the text explicitly says that the perception of your holiness doesn't just bless you alone. We're swapping out isolated joy for shared radiance. It tells us, everyone and everything I see in its light shares in the joy it brings to me. There is literally nothing that is apart from this joy. As you recognize your own inherent self-worth, that exact same light shines out for everyone to see. You literally become a blessing to your environment just by knowing your own innocence. How amazing is that? All right, moving on to Lesson 38. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. I mean, talk about a bold claim. This is probably the strongest statement in the text so far. It's pointing out that this inner peace, this recognition of your own innocence, is completely unlimited in its power to heal and its power to save. But that begs the question, what exactly is it saving us from? The text asks it brilliantly, what is there to be saved from except illusions? And what are all illusions except false ideas about myself? So let's break that down. When we talk about illusions, we're talking about everyday psychological stuff, the false, negative narratives and ideas we carry around about ourselves. You know, those feelings of inadequacy, the stories we invent that say we aren't good enough. Those are the exact illusions the text is talking about. So how do we actually break free from those illusions? The text gives us this beautifully logical progression. Step 1, you claim your inherent worth, your holiness. Just by asserting that fundamental truth about yourself, you automatically start to undo all those false negative narratives. The text says your holiness simply undoes them all. And then the final step, in the presence of that truth, all those false idols just vanish. All that heavy negative baggage completely falls apart when it's confronted with your actual worth. Which leads us perfectly right into Lesson 39, My Holiness is My Salvation. Here, we're seeing the profound connection between recognizing how deeply worthy you are and finding true, absolute freedom. The text literally states that recognizing your holiness is recognizing your salvation. Let's demystify that word salvation because it can sound a bit intimidating. Based on this text, salvation isn't some distant magical event in the future. It is simply the ultimate freedom from all personal guilt and fear right here, right now. The text specifically explains that because your holiness saves you from guilt, once you actually accept it, absolutely nothing can make you afraid. You are literally saved from fear itself. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate ripple effect of letting go of our fear. The text declares, "And because I am unafraid, everyone must share in my understanding, which is the gift of God to me and to the world." Think about it. When you drop your own fear and your own guilt, your newfound understanding becomes an absolute gift to everyone around you. It's contagious. You just can't help but share that kind of liberated energy. Finally, we've reached our last review point, Lesson 40, I am blessed as a son of God. Now, I want to take a moment here. We need to reframe this beautiful, poetic language so we can see it as a universal truth about your inherent goodness, completely regardless of your personal background or whatever you might believe. See, it's so important to look at this not as some strict exclusionary dogma, but really as a metaphor for universal, unconditional support. Calling yourself a son of God in the context of this text is just a super powerful way of saying you have an unshakable claim to all good and only good simply because of who you are at your core. The text says, all good things are mine because God intended them for me. It's the ultimate statement of absolute belonging and worthiness. And the text gets incredibly specific about the promises that come with that realization. Because of who you fundamentally are, the text asserts that you cannot suffer loss, you cannot suffer deprivation, and you cannot suffer pain. It promises that you are unconditionally supported, protected, and directed in literally all things. The source material says this care for you is infinite, and it's with you forever. You are, to put it simply, eternally blessed. So, let's bring this explainer full circle. We are right back to our main objective today, reviewing previous lessons 36 through 40. We've just unpacked the profound meaning behind every single one of those 5 statements. We've seen how they flow beautifully from finding our internal innocence to creating an external blessing, to undoing all those false narratives, achieving total freedom from fear, and finally accepting that we have infinite care and support. But how does the source text actually want us to use this stuff? Well, it tells us these ideas are specifically for review today. So the practical application is to practice them throughout your entire day. The goal is to continually recall these 5 truths while you're just going about your normal routine. And more importantly, if you hit a snag, if you encounter any moments of guilt or fear or that nagging negative self-talk, you are instructed to immediately apply these concepts to assert the truth about your worth and make those illusions vanish. It's such a powerful, practical tool for mental and spiritual reframing. So, I want to leave you with a provocative question based on everything we've just covered. What false illusion, what negative narrative about yourself are you going to consciously choose to let go of today? Really think about it and let that inherent holiness shine through. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you found this breakdown helpful and you want to keep exploring these mind-bending concepts with us, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got so much more to uncover together. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.